Hello and welcome back to the Sports Circus. This segment is brought to you in part by the American Business Trust Company, helping companies with business strategies, sales and marketing, capital resources, and establishing companies with a physical location or on the internet. Visit them online at www.apptrustco.com or that's my word today. Call them at 657-600-1876 to learn more. That's American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. All right, people. I have the honor of introducing or interviewing my next guest. I'm predicting is going to be a future track Olympian. I'm just going to let her introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tyra Poole. I'm a track student athlete at Lenoir-Rhyne University.
Hey! Tyra, where is Lenoir-Rhyne University?
Lenoir-Rhyne is actually located in Hickory, North Carolina, which is about an hour north from Charlotte.
Okay. Well, what you say you do track and field. What track events do you perform or you represent your university in?
So I run my main event is the 400, but I also do the 200, and then I also do the 4x1 and 4x4 relays.
Whoa. Did you say the 400? The 400?
Yes.
Wow, that 400, man. What?
It's a tough race.
Yeah, talk about it. What is the most difficult part in your mind, would you say is the most difficult part about running the 400 meters?
I would say the back straight is the hardest because that's where you're the most tired, and then you're also losing your technique. So basically on that back straight, you have to remember to keep your technique at all times and push yourself so you can finish through the line.
Wow. Now I ran track as well. I went to Fort Valley State University, which Lenoir-Rhyne played Fort Valley in football this past season. But I ran track. I did the 100 and 200, and I would run the 400 meters on the 4x4 team. And I'm telling you, that 400 meters, it seems like as I got around to that last straight, like you said, that last 100, it seems like the finish line was moving farther away from me than it was coming towards me. I was like, oh my goodness. So speaking of the 400, what strategies would you give someone that wants to be a great 400 meter runner such as yourself?
So I'm going to tell you the race model I use that we came up with. So basically, you want to get out on the first curve. You don't want to go out too hard, but you don't want to go out too hard. So then when you get to the beginning of the straight, you want to float. And when I mean float, you want to, conserve energy and not run too hard. And then you're going to last all the way till you get to the second curve, probably half of it. And then you're going to start pushing again, use your arms. And then basically the last part of the race, you just push and you use everything you got left in the tank.
Wow. That's a pretty good race model. And, it's funny that most Olympians follow that same race model. You got a lot of kids to get out there, they run at 400. They say, I'm just going to run. They shoot the gun. I'm just going to run. Exactly. And they get arrested at 200 meters. And what's that animal that they say normally jump on their back? What do they say?
They say elephant, gorilla.
The bear, yeah. I don't know if I want a gorilla jump. Yeah, that bear jump on your back. But to run that 400, you got to have a difficult mindset. Your mindset just has to be like no other. Let's talk about the mindset of an athlete. How do you get yourself prepared to run, which is arguably the toughest running event in track and field? How do you get yourself prepared to run that event?
So first I'll listen to some music. I'll take my energy drink, and basically the type of music I listen to is kind of weird. I listen to rock music, but also since Rocky is my favorite movie, and whenever I watch that movie, I feel like I want to work out. sometimes I'll play some Rocky music in my headphones, and then that's when I start getting into the mood. And then every time before I run, I always pray.
Oh, dang, I like that.
That's how I get my mind ready.
Hey, that's how you have to do it. So you get out there and you work that thing.
Yes, sir.
You work that thing. Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. What is the most memorable 400-meter race you've been in? Like this one just sticks into your mind. Like, I'm going to remember this when I'm 190 years old. This race here was one of the most memorable 400-meter races of my career in college.
I don't really have like a college memory. I would have to say when I ran USATF, it was my first time making it to the Junior Olympics. I know I've been trying to make it for the past couple years, but I finally made it that year. And then another memory was when I was about, I don't know how old I was, about 14, 15 maybe. I finally broke 60 seconds that I was working on so hard for a lot of years. I know both of us, we were cheering when I crossed the line, looked at the time, it said like 59. I was like, I did it. So that took a long time.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I remember that exactly. You had won it so hard. You worked so hard. And for those who don't know, the USATF, that's the United States of America Track and Field. So it's the youth USATF. So that's where all of those who consider themselves great track athletes, they come. And if you're running in the summer, I'm telling you, you are a serious athlete, whether it's AAU or USATF, because it's hot out there. It's all I can say is it's hot. It's hot to the point where we bring tents, we bring fans.
Umbrellas.
I would bring a generator, umbrellas, everything. I would bring a generator just to plug it up so we could continue to get the fan circulating. And sometimes it's only circulating heat. But I want to visit a quick moment, Tyra. Again, talk about the mindset, because you work so hard to get to a certain event, and then boom, something collapsed. Like for me, playing professional football, I may work all the season, the whole entire season, to get to the AFC, NFC championship, and then I pull my hamstring or I get injured right before the big game. And you're talking about a deflator, something that really ticks me off. I want you to go back to the moment where you qualified for the finals in the USATF and something happened. Describe to everyone what happened.
Okay, so about a couple years ago, I made it to the finals. This is, I think, regionals, and then it goes to nationals. So I was in the region finals, and I was getting ready for a race. I was warming up and everything. And then, they call everyone like, okay, all the runners come to the line. So I was getting ready, getting dressed, and I looked through my bag. And when you run, you need a number on your, you pin to your uniform. So I was looking through my bag and I couldn't find my number. So I looked at my dad. I was like, I don't have my number. What do I do? And I called my mom, and she was on the way from the hotel. And she was like, I don't have it or whatever. So I couldn't run in the finals. And unfortunately, I couldn't make it to the nationals. So that was a pretty heartbreaking moment, because I was doing so well. And basically, I was seeded to win the whole region in the finals. So I was just sad. I was kind of depressed. I went to the car, I started crying. I was so mad at myself. And then eventually when I got back to the hotel, my number was sitting on the desk.
Wow. Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was.
Now, if you could advise any incoming freshman, college freshman, student athlete, what would you tell them is the biggest adjustment? Now we're just talking about school as an athlete and being a student. What advice would you give any college freshman who's coming in, that the biggest adjustment that they would probably have to make or they would encounter being a student athlete? Because you yourself was once an incoming freshman student athlete.
I would say time management is a big one. I kind of struggled with that my freshman year. Basically, it's kind of hard balancing work and then athletics at the same time, because you got to do work for all your classes and then you have practice afterwards. And I pretty much messed up on that my freshman year. I was so busy. I had so much work, and then I was trying to balance practice, and then all at the same time I wanted to hang out with my friends, play video games, hang out in my room. But now I have a new schedule where I do all of my work every week, and then I save my me time with my friends and then playing video games for the weekend, so I can focus on my work and then my focus on my athletics. And that has helped me a lot.
Well, I tell you what, you did better than I did. When I was a freshman coming in, my mind was totally focused on football. I'm like, if it wasn't oval, if it didn't have laces on it, if it didn't have stripes on it, I didn't want to be a part of it. So you either find me in the cafeteria eating. As soon as I ate, I would go pick the football up or go pick some weights up. But you know what? You're doing a great job, and you're balancing athletics and your studies. So that is always good advice to give all those who are coming in from high school going into college, because guess what? It's going to be a very big adjustment. You know what? We got more Tyra, the future Olympian Poole, coming up in our next segment. You don't want to miss it. We're going to talk about this pandemic and how she's dealing with it in college. Stay tuned for more Sports Circus! Hello, this is, do I need to say my name again? I'm going to say it because I love saying my name, and I love saying two-time Super Bowl champion, American Ninja Warrior Tyrone Poole, here with the Sports Circus. I want to welcome everybody again. Magic 97.9 in Las Vegas, all of our CBS, NBC, and Fox affiliates. Everybody watching from Hawaii to California, all the way to Atlanta, up to Boston, Titletown. I have an important message for consumers, business owners, and managers. For information on the best high-speed internet, satellite, TV, cell phone services, identity protection, home and business security systems, credit card processing, plus savings on electricity and gas bills. Who don't need savings? Contact 702-799-9935. That's for information on smart savings for homes and businesses. Contact 702-799-9935 or learn more at safelyspend.com, or you can just send them an email at info@safelyspend.com. Now, also, this segment is brought to you in part by Creatine Logistics. Nothing is too big or small. We move it all. We offer all aspects of logistics. If you are an independent owner, operator, we are here for you. At Creatine Logistics, we are reliable and dedicated. Service at your fingertips. For more information, contact Creatine Logistics at 404-965-2858. Again, that's 404-965-2858, or you can email them at creatinelogsticsllc@gmail.com. We have a future Hall of Famer, Tyra Poole, here joining the Sports Circus, and we're going to dive right back in it, Tyra. This is our last segment, but I want to ask you, now, a lot of students are returning back to campus, their university campuses all over this country. Now, you have returned to campus. Upon returning, you had to take, I believe, a COVID test and you're still waiting for the results. You're still waiting for the results, right? Okay. Yes. So you guys really are quarantined. You guys are quarantined because you really can't do anything, correct? Okay. Yes, how has that affected you and your classmates, knowing that you guys are restricted from leaving your rooms?
It's been so boring. I've been trying to keep myself busy by watching movies and playing video games, but now I'm bored of that. And even my roommate, she said she's bored. So basically, we can't leave our rooms. We can't go hang out in other people's rooms, stuff like that. So we're basically on lockdown in our rooms.
Wow, lockdown. So what is the daily COVID-19 protocol for the students at your university?
So for women's track, we only get an hour to go outside and work out. So that time is at 8
An
a.m. And then, the
hour.
men's, yeah, an hour. And then the men's, they go at 9 a.m. And then we get breakfast after that. And then the coaches bring lunch to our rooms around 12, and then they bring dinner around probably 4:30. So yeah.
Wow. You talk about
Mm-hmm.
quarantine. Whoa, you guys are quarantined. But you know what? Give great shout outs to Lenoir-Rhyne, the coaching staff. They are trying to do their best to make sure you guys are healthy. And you guys are just getting that cabin. You guys are getting that cabin fever already. Cabin fever. But here's a question I want you to answer. Now, we again all over this country, athletes are returning back to school. Students are returning back to school. As a collegiate athlete, do you think the NCAA 100% should tell athletes whether you guys can play or not play sports during this pandemic? What are your thoughts?
I'm kind of 50-50 about that. I think we should have our own decision to see if we want to play or not. But at the same time, I know it's not safe for us to play. But actually, we just had a Zoom call earlier with our head athletic trainer, and he said that if we don't feel safe playing our sport, we can actually take a break from our sport, and they will not take away our scholarship or reduce our scholarship. So basically, our school's giving us the option if we want to participate in our sport with COVID going around.
And again, I think that's very fair. I think that's a great assessment that you just brought up there. You want to 50-50 because sometimes you have these people, and I've said it before. I even said it with Eli, the dream crusher. I told him that I think it should be 50-50. I think they should listen to the athletes because it's our body. We have a free will. We want to take on their advice because they are knowledgeable in their field, whether it's medical or whether it's whatever it is. We also are professionals. You are a professional, sort of, you don't get paid, but you are a doctor. You have a doctrine. When I say a doctrine, basically you have done everything from the time you started playing sports, running track up until now. You have gotten many hours in on how your body feels, and your body has been sick, your body has been healthy. So I think it should be 50-50. We take what the medical people are saying, and then they ask the athletes, how do you guys feel? And then together we come, and I think we have the best solution. So I agree with that, 50-50. Now, as a student living on campus, what has been the biggest adjustment that you had to go through during this COVID-19 pandemic?
So basically, when I first got on campus, we got an email from the housing people. They're like, you have to wear a mask at all times when you go in, and when you go out your room. And basically, they have in every dorm, they have a warning poster on the back of the door saying you need to wear your mask everywhere you go. And it was hard for me to move in because I had my mask on and I was getting tired and I was breathing hard and I could barely breathe out of my mask. So I would say the one big thing moving on campus was the mask deal, wearing a mask everywhere.
Now, last year, before the pandemic actually happened, it was pretty much easy. You guys could go from room to room and you could sneeze on one another, and everybody now, they would say, bless you. But now if you sneeze around people, they turn in their head trying to run from you and try, almost like they're like, okay, let me go get another COVID test. But there has been a big difference from last year and this year as a student. What about the classes? Are you guys like classes? How will the class situation go? Will you guys operate from your room, Zoom, or will you guys go to the classes? Will there be a certain number of students admitted during a particular time? How would that work as a student?
So they changed up our whole school schedule. So basically, we would go all the way from August to probably the beginning of December, but they cut that back. So basically, now we have our final exams at the end of November during Thanksgiving break, and we stay home after that. And they also said that they're separating our desks in the room. But the thing is, that's not going to fit all the people. My thing is that they're not going to fit all the people in the room. So I'm like, can only a certain number of people come in? Because they haven't said that yet. And then they cut all of our class times down to 1 hour. So every single time, every single class is an hour now. And then usually we would have Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes. Those classes are only on Monday and Friday. So they changed up the whole schedule. And then the school is giving everyone masks.
Wow. So have they told you guys, like, what is the protocol for, like, if someone does test with COVID-19, have they told you guys how that would be worked out? Will you have to be quarantined? Will you have to go home? What was the update about that?
So our head athletic trainer said, if you test positive for the coronavirus, you have to stay quarantined in your room for 2 weeks. You can't come in contact with anyone. They will ask you questions about if you were with anyone. And if you were with anyone, then they're going to go and test them, of course. But I know earlier they said, depending on how far you live from the school, they'll send you home. But if you live too far, then you have to stay quarantined in your room.
Wow. Were there any students that remained on campus? Because I know this pandemic happened early in the year. Were there any students that remained at campus that were athletes that you know of? And how did they handle the situation?
So I know all the international students, they got stuck here on campus. I have a friend, she's from Brazil. She's also on my track team. I know she had to stay on campus for a little while over the summer. And I know it was not fun because I know they had to stay in the room. My roommate also stayed on campus. She also told me that when she and my other friend, when they tried to go work out on the track, they said they weren't allowed to. They almost got in trouble because they had to stay in the room and they weren't allowed to come out.
Wow. So that you talk about going from slim to maybe oversized because you can't work out. But wow, that's wow. But that's the unprecedented lifestyle that we have now. Now let's go over and ask you about the athlete. I just asked you about the student side. What, as an athlete, how has practice been different from last year compared to this year?
So for our practices starting on September 8th, the athletic trainers, they are providing all the athletes with masks. They call them gaiters. We have to wear them at every single practice. And for our track practice, our coach told us that when we warm up, we have to be kind of spread out. But once we start doing our event practices, we can remove our mask and run without them. We just have to stay separated from everyone.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good call. It sounds like you guys got a great administration at Lenoir-Rhyne, and also your coaches are very on top of everything. So we have a couple of minutes left. Outside of being a student athlete, I know you have maybe some organizations and causes that are very close and dear to your heart. I know the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation is one that's close to your heart. Tyrone Poole, we support the family unit, mother and daughter, mother and son, father and daughter, father and son events. Are there any other causes that are dear to your heart that you believe in, and why?
First, I'm going to start off with any animal rescue because I have a huge soft spot for animals. I also have a French bulldog. His name is Beau. They're the type of breed that they depend on humans. Humans have to take care of them. They wouldn't be able to survive out there by themselves. So, and then I would support the ending hunger around the world.
Wow. You guys have heard it. We've had the opportunity to have a future Olympian, Miss Tyra Poole. Thank you for coming on the Sports Circus. We want to thank everybody for watching and listening. And we'll see you next time on another great episode of the Sports Circus. See you guys next time.